So this is an important post. I woke up this morning thinking about this and I thought I've got to share this. This might be the post that changes everything. Now, I talk a lot about consciousness, conscious connection, about bringing consciousness to your experience, to what you're feeling in the body. It's that field of consciousness, the very fabric of our existence. This is really powerful information, because it's going to change the way that you relate to your body. It's going to change the way that you relate to everything, potentially. Through 10 years of exploring and understanding my experience, stress, and how to heal stress, I've understood this deeply, that everything is energy. Everything that we're experiencing is a form of energy, a frequency. And this is so crucial to understanding and healing stress, understanding our experience, because it's understanding fundamentally that we are always influencing the field of consciousness. And your most direct sphere of influence is your body. But we're constantly interacting and influencing this field of consciousness. Let me help you understand this. It's a difficult concept to get our heads around because we experience the body and everything around us as solid. We see that. That's how we perceive things through our nervous system. That's how our nervous system is designed. But actually, in reality, and this is physics, everything is a frequency. The reason we understand our body to be solid, or to perceive it that way, is because the body has a denser frequency. It feels solid. In terms of energy, it's still a frequency. We can start to understand perhaps that everything is connected. There's no separation between what seems to be emptiness, air around me, and my body. And in healing stress, it's really important to understand this. You can start to understand how the thoughts that we're thinking are influencing our own personal field, our body. We're receiving information, energy, from the outside, from the world around us, but also from our internal world, our inner world. And that's what we're thinking and what we're feeling. And in turn, what we're feeling, and that's how the body tells us about our experience through the nervous system, in sensations, feelings, emotions. These in turn cause us to think certain things. Everything's connected. And when we're in a stress state, and we've been in that stress state since our childhood or from very early on in life, we can be in that reactive loop. That's what I've been talking about in the daily reset. That reactive loop of stress is the discomfort we're feeling in the body, the overwhelm emotionally, physically, mentally. It's all connected, creating thoughts, reactive thoughts around what we're feeling that then feed back into these sensations and the discomfort that we're feeling in the body. And we're starting to see how the thoughts and feelings and our physical experience of that is all connected. That's in our own personal field of consciousness. But we're connected to everything. That field of consciousness is everything. We are part of it. We're not separate from it. And it's only because we experience the body as solid that we feel separate. And when I'm showing people how to heal stress, I talk about consciously connecting with what you feel in the body. Stress has the impact of disconnecting us from what we feel in the body, disconnecting us from being present. And it creates or amplifies that illusion of separation from true nature. Everything is energy. Your body, your thoughts, your emotion, everything that we're experiencing is a form of energy, of frequency. Let's see if I can demonstrate this. We close our eyes. And again, once we're doing that, we're getting out of the limitation of what we think. It's a very limited experience, actually. And we're coming into the body, that conscious connection, starting to access a lot more information in what you're feeling, okay? And as you close your eyes, while you're still aware of your body and the physicality of it, that solid feel, we're going to focus instead on sensation, feelings. Now, depending on whether this is new to you or not, it might be a little bit challenging to connect to the more subtle sensations. Again, it really depends on how aware you are of what you're feeling in your body at any one time. The more we can be present in the body and aware of what we're feeling, the more we're going to be connected to this information and this field of consciousness to become aware that everything is connected. So as you're present in the body, becoming aware of sensations, we're letting go of the idea of the body as a solid state, starting to understand that it is just a denser frequency of consciousness. Everything is energy, including your body. And as you're connecting to different sensations in your body, you can start to become aware of these feelings. Again, that's the way that the body, the nervous system, is communicating different information, different states of energy, different frequencies. And as we're present in the body, we let go of the need to understand these, to bring any kind of story or narrative, the level of the mind. But also there's an awareness of how the thoughts that we're thinking are producing different feelings in the body. That's how we're influencing our own fields of experience through the body, how we're influencing our own physical state of health, our experience in general. We can come out to the edge of the body, starting just to connect to what it feels like. Again, you're connecting to a feeling rather than an idea, a solid state. Again, understanding that your body is just a denser frequency of consciousness in the field of consciousness. Everything is connected. There is no separation. Now, as you rest there, not needing to overanalyze, again, it's about being present, feeling, being aware of these different sensations, different frequencies. Everything is energy, part of the field of consciousness, including your body, your thoughts, your emotions. Everything part of the field of consciousness. Now, this could be your Neo moment if you watch The Matrix. And that's that moment where Neo starts to experience everything as code. Well, really, this is just everything as energy, frequency. And in this way, we can start to see how our own presence and thoughts and experience we're constantly interacting with and therefore influencing the field of consciousness. The easiest way to understand this is how we're influencing our own very personal field of consciousness as we experience it through the body. And this is really powerful because as we're understanding this and accessing so much more potential, human potential, understanding our influence and how we can use our thoughts creatively, how we can interact with our own experience physically, mentally, emotionally, how everything is connected, we can start to see the potential for creating good health, balance, how we can influence our own personal field through what we feel and what we think, but also how we can influence the field of consciousness, our own experience of life. The potential is limitless. In terms of stress, we can only start to really access that potential once we exit that reactive stress loop, where our thoughts are still in that stress-based, lack-based experience on a repetitive loop of limitation, and that's affecting what we feel in our own personal field of consciousness, the body. And if we're in that reactive loop, it's a loop of limitation. We're not able to use the full potential of how we think and how we feel to create our own experience, whether it's our own experience of health or our own experience of life. So in order to start to access that potential, we start to heal stress. We start to work with our own field of consciousness, our own experience. And that's why I start every guided exercise with that conscious connection, coming back into the body, becoming aware of what it is you feel, understanding how powerful your presence is as you bring consciousness to your own experience and understand how everything is connected, how everything is part of that field of consciousness, and how through simply existing you are influencing the field of consciousness, and either you're conscious of that or not, and that's the determining factor. Okay, so I felt it was really important to share that. This is something that I've been exploring for years and that I understood more deeply through the process of healing stress. So if you're interested in exploring this further, whether it's healing stress, there's the 6-week Alchemy of Stress in the Lighthouse web app. The details are in the description box below. And there's also the Daily Reset series of posts that I've made recently. And there is a wealth of information on my channel about healing stress, being in that conscious connection and exploring or bringing consciousness to your own experience, understanding how everything is connected by the field of consciousness in which we exist. Okay, so as always, love to hear your comments. Please do like, share and subscribe if you found this post interesting, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.